Microsoft's E3 2021 Extended has so much new information on several different titles. This does include Hellblade 2, Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts, Flight Simulator, Battlefield, and more. Let's get into it. What is going on, guys? Dealer back again with yet another video talking about all of the latest Xbox games news. A ton of little details revealed today, and we've got all of them. If you end up liking the video, hit the like button, tell a friend. Let's get into it. So yeah, Ninja Theory were at this little extended game showcase, and they decided to show off some in-engine assets from Hellblade 2 running on Unreal Engine 5. And you know what? This game looks fire. This game looks amazing, and I just don't care. I don't care what anyone says. Let me know what you think about this as we check this video out, because I again am very impressed by what I'm already seeing. I have a good amount of expectation from this title. But there are a few surprises here in this information.
I wanted to give you an update on the work so far for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. What we're doing right now is building a good chunky slice of the game before we then move into full production to build out the rest.
Right there. You heard what I heard. They are moving into building a good chunky slice of the game, so chunky, and then they are going to go into full production on building out the rest of the game. And this really tells me this game's design goals, its ambitions, are obviously much larger, much greater than the first title. The bottom line, they've been working on this thing for what, 3-4 years? And you've got to give these guys a little bit of slack here, because they were a very, very small team building the first Hellblade with only $10 million budget, which seems like a lot. You really can't even really fathom how they even got it to such a high production value when it comes to visual assets on such a small budget, and that does include marketing, I do believe. Hellblade 2 is much more ambitious. So if they are just now really building out a big chunk of the game and then they're going to go into full production on the full game, it really is curious wording, but what it does is tell you that this game will not be ready until late next year at the absolute earliest. And that really is pretty crazy, considering we did see the original Hellblade 2 teaser trailer at the Xbox Series X reveal in December 2019. So, for those of you that have been wanting to see something, anything of Hellblade 2, this is pretty much what we have. Let me know what your thoughts are down below.
Hellblade was very special for us, and we didn't want to do a straight sequel. We wanted to do something extra special, and so we're making our lives as difficult as possible in that pursuit. The game is set in Iceland, 9th century Iceland, so we've been sending out art and audio teams out there, doing photography, photogrammetry, and combining it with satellite data to recreate large swathes of the landscape. On the character front, we're building real costumes, scanning them in. We're collaborating with Epic Games to bring you next-generation digital characters.
So he just said they are building large landscapes, meaning this is going to be some kind of open world, or at least some kind of giant hub open world type game. If you also notice in the footage here, they are practicing combat for mocap, both armed and unarmed. This seems to be a much bigger and broader game, especially when it comes to combat. Looks like variety is on the table here. He also says Epic Games is collaborating with them, the guys that built Unreal Engine 5. They are really striving to once again set that visual bar. Any emphasis on that right there tells you that they are definitely expecting people to be blown away by this game's look upon release.
On the combat front, we want it to be extra real and brutal. And so Melina, our main actress, has been training for 2 years, and all of our animators have undergone combat training.
I like that right there. Ultra real, ultra brutal.
But rather a montage of the kind of work we've been up to. Hope you like it.
Do you see this? Is this real? Somebody in the comments tell me this is real. Is this really just pieces of wood roped together? Because they keep showing things that look very real, and then they'll show like digitized like game engine version with the color maps and all the stuff all over it, like it's an asset from a game engine. Because this is real. Best graphics I've ever seen, right? I know how crazy that sounds, but this piece of wood just won Best Graphics 2021, and the game ain't gonna be out for a year or two. Now, if this is some part of the game running in real time, or if this is a real-time cutscene like Halo Infinite has and God of War has, how they, maybe no transitions even, I don't know. I have no idea if this is CGI, And it's getting to that point where video games are kind of, they're really starting to be hard to tell if they're CGI or not. And it's kind of mind-blowing if you think about it, but this looks absolutely phenomenal right here.
On this journey, by sea, by land.
Oh, this is really cool. You can see some of the mocap that goes on behind the game and how he just said she's been training for 2 years. I mean, this chick will roundhouse you in the face in real life.
We will forge new stories.
You just saw some unarmed stuff going on right there. I don't know why she would need to be doing that if you couldn't fight unarmed in the game, right? So I would imagine you can fight unarmed in the game. There's so much going on in this trailer. I mean, it looked like there were some enemy types that flashed on the screen. Feel free to go back and pause it. Look, I don't know. I would say best graphics of all time already. We don't know what's real. We just saw some in-engine stuff. They just showed it literally, but it's hard to tell if all that's in-engine or some of it's footage from the place. That's a compliment to the talented developers working there at Ninja Theory. Look, that's fire. I would say this should have been on the E3 stage, and for me, that conference is already a 9.2. Maybe that's why you didn't do it, because you're like, look, we're not even trying yet. But yeah, Xbox. Hey, it's worth noting that Plague's Tale: Innocence is getting Xbox Series S and X enhanced with 4K visuals, 60 FPS, and much more. Also, one of the first few topics I want to tackle here, Forza Horizon 5, and I have replaced the low bitrate 1080p stream with 4K high bitrate stream, and I try to suit this and match it where I can. But again, Forza Horizon 5. Look at this game. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yes, you have to be. You are connected in now what is a completely seamless online world with your friends, and every single other car you see this time around is an actual human player. Again, they are building this game for next generation, though it is a cross-generation game. Sounds confusing to some, but if you've been paying attention to x86 architecture, the machine language in which all of this is built, now for the first time ever on console, going from x86 to x86, a lot of this stuff translates very well, scales very well. Game design is within the means of last generation systems. So you've got a gorgeous game like Forza Horizon 5 on your Xbox One X that will really still hold its own. While on the next generation systems, you've got even more detail on offer here, along with ray tracing in Forza Vista and 4K 60 FPS performance modes.
And perhaps not as obvious, but the other thing that is super authentic is all of our light data and skies. So we had a team out in Mexico with our 12K HDR sky capture rig. We captured more than 400 hours of sky data, and then we recreate that in game. So all of the light, the shadows, the color information, all of it is recreated in game based on real light data captured from Mexico. So everything you're seeing there just has that real authenticity, that feeling of reality.
And we got a peek at Event Lab. Now, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Event Lab is a really exciting new suite of tools that will allow people in the community to create whatever they can imagine, really. If we look at the video right now.
So to sum this up quickly, make tracks, make races, make mini games, have fun with your friends, build basically free content for the community and keep players engaged, which is perfect for Game Pass. That's why they included this in the first place. It's a win-win in my opinion, and those skies are oh so beautiful. Not a ton of new details from Horizon at this extended E3 showcase, but we still have so much more. Also, for some of you that were wondering, they did actually give more details on Battlefield, including the multiplayer that we've already known about. 128 players. The tornado will actually affect vehicles and players nearby. And of course, the fully real-time weapon customization is pretty awesome. Yes, it looks really cool. One of the really cool things about Battlefield this year is, well, you get large maps, yes. And while some would rather have more varied locations, like myself, I'm open-minded about it after seeing their first gameplay reveal. These things look absolutely insane. And now you've got giant stadiums, for instance, that have multiple objectives inside that need to be taken. To capture that objective, the stadium for your team, and this will give your team boosts and benefits overall. This incentivizes people to fight for locations, and does create different gameplay loops as well. So, for example, outside in the open fields is more of a sniper game, inside the stadium a shotgun game. It's really your battle to choose, and I think it's pretty interesting how DICE are going about this. Though no campaign, a price hike for next-gen only systems, even though the PC version doesn't have a price hike, which is weird, and I will not. But anyways, yeah, the game looks amazing. It does look really awesome for a massive online shooter, and Battlefield has really been where it's at for me personally. I've gotten back into Call of Duty over the past year, but I've primarily been a Battlefield guy, and this one is looking to offer something pretty unique. I suppose the gameplay looks pretty awesome after all. Let me know your thoughts about this down below. They also showed off some Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean crossover action, and I gotta say, as somebody who didn't like Sea of Thieves when it came out, I will say, hear me out. I will say that they've added a ton of content to this thing, and the Pirates of the Caribbean content looks to be the most cohesive of them all, adding new enemies, a completely new set of tall tales, and just changing the dynamic of what's possible in the game world itself, including Davy Jones himself flying out of the water to steal your lunch money. So these are free updates from the developer, billing out as they should a game that was delivered several years back, and I can't complain about that. I think it's great. Now, some of you guys are looking forward to Psychonauts 2. Of course, I've got to throw it in here. Tim Schafer is one of the most unique minds at Microsoft. His games are kind of quirky, but always very, very special in their own way. I remember beating Brutal Legend and thinking to myself, wow, this is not really like anything I've ever played before. This is basically the trend with Double Fine and their newest title, Psychonauts 2. Now, the thing that looks cool about this game to me is just how colorful it is and how different levels appear to play out differently. It seems like the perspectives or gameplay mechanics, like what type of game it actually plays like, might shift and change throughout the actual game itself. Looks to be a charming title. Let me know if you guys are going to be playing Psychonauts this August in Game Pass. Look at this. Flight Simulator, Xbox Series X. Have you seen a better looking game right now? We all know Flight Simulator is the first real next generation game. This is crazy, and you'll be able to play it on your console for, again, no additional cost through Game Pass. Now, they did say this game will run at around 30 frames per second, but I think they said they have an unlocked mode where I expect it to hit 60 frames per second in the air, but they did say they'll also support BRR for those moments in between. And given the CPU bottlenecks that this game does create because of everything that's happening in the background with the servers and streaming and how detailed, crazy detailed this title is, yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hard to run this thing at 60 frames per second. That's why you should expect, as I've said, a year ago plus, that this game will probably not run at a lock 60 frames per second on the next generation systems. However, this game still looks incredible, and I think the footage speaks for itself.
And even if you go down and you try to plan out your flight, you can now see all the cities around you, and it totally transforms the experience. Same in-game, so we now have labels in-game where you see, here's Everett, over there is, whatever, and you learn about the planet more, and it's a much more enriching experience. So we have skis on our planes now, and so you can go to the polar regions, mountaintops, or when it's winter, because we have winter, when it's snowing, you can now land anywhere. So I think those 5...
He thinks those 5 things are super awesome and cool, like you guys. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. Do appreciate it. I want to put out some more videos for you guys. I've been just all over the place here lately, and I've been trying to get out content. This thing took forever to make. I don't even know why, honestly. Just going through here, getting my thoughts together on all this stuff, and just really putting it all in order. Trying to replace this footage they streamed with decent footage alone was a pain in the butt, but I think it's worth it because I want to show people that Xbox games look phenomenal. That's why I started uploading in 4K back in 2017, all in order to shut them down, right? So again, guys, let me know your thoughts. I'll be in the comments for a bit. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Maybe show a buddy or two. And of course, check out the backlog. Check out all the podcasts. If you want to know more about me or my friends or what we think about Xbox, what Microsoft are doing, how we've been critical of the brand, but mostly almost always positive about what they're doing right, with, of course, a subtle hint of fix this or that. That's, I think that's key. And I think a lot of you guys are the same way. So again, subscribe for more. Check out the merch link down below. Become a patron or a channel member. And of course, you could always just say hi in the comments. It's all appreciated. I'm Dealer. I'm out.